Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Omongo Leven. Today I'm going to show you how to use SQL. We are going to use SQL to create a real estate database that contains properties in different addresses with prices, as you are going to see. First, in our first line of code, it's on line 2, we created a database. Yes, we created a database called real estate. After creating the database, where we create a table. This table is called properties, where we define all our attributes. Yes, so properties here is the main entity. Is the main entity in our database, having these attributes as we see here. So property. So our first attribute is property ID. Yes, property ID is an int key. It's an int. It's an int, and it's also a primary key. So this like a primary key is a unique value that is given that will be given to each to each property that will be added. So this is a unique way of identifying each property separately. Then the second attribute is address. So the property is going to be an integer. Yes, it will be a number. It will be an integer value. So when we go to address, so address is we see a varchar. This is a variable character, whereby this means that the value here like varies. It's not constant, like the value depends on how long the address is. Yes, but it can hold for you a maximum of 255 55 characters. So then we have a not null. So not null means like this attribute is a must. So in that column of address, it shouldn't be empty. So not null means that it is a must. You have to each property has to have an address. Same here to city, to the attribute called city. Yes, it can hold maximum of 100 characters. It is also a must. That's why we see a not null, a not null statement. The next attribute is type. Our next attribute is type. It holds a maximum. It can hold a maximum of 50. Here we can see that we must check, like the system must check. So this statement means like if you see this, type in residential, commercial. So this means that this must be like this attribute must have only this. It either has a residential. Its property must be either residential, commercial, or industrial. Yes. So this makes it a must that it has to choose on these three. You can't put any other value. It must be one of these. So we go to size. This size is also an int, not null. So we also check. We use the check. We use the check function. We use the check function to make sure that the size is greater than 0. To make sure that the size of the property is greater than 0. It can't be negatives. So the price. So here the price, we see that it's a decimal. Yes, it's a value with 2 decimal places, but it's also not null. It's a must. It has to be. A price has to be added, and it also has to be greater than 0. It doesn't have to be below 0. Then the status. This is similar to the type, whereby we use the check function to do what? To check for these values, whether it must be either available, sold, or rented. Each property must be either available, sold, or rented. So that's it. That's the table we've created. Here we go on and insert insert data, insert values into the tables. So here we created the properties table. It has the columns, they are still blank, they are still empty. So to add data into them, this is the syntax we use. Though we have to follow the order, of the attributes, like the way we define them in the create table. When we are creating the table, the address, city, type, size, price, status. So this is what is the same thing we use here. So we use we add an ID as 1 because it's the first property we are adding. We add the 1 for the ID, we add its address, we add the city, we add the type and it's commercial, then we add the size, we add the price, then its status, it's available. So it's the same thing we did in all these properties here, just following the order of the attributes as defined in the table. Yes, so here we go to querying. Yes, so here we queried all properties with city Kampala with the status available in an ascending order, whereby you start from the lowest to the biggest. So here we said select property ID, address, type, size, price from. So here we selected everything. We first select everything, then we from properties table, then we filter using where city. We filtered the property with the city Kampala and the status of available. Then we arranged them in an ascending order. So that's how we query in SQL. That's how we queried that property using SQL. So now here we did an update to a certain property. So allow me start from this line 36, whereby where property is equal to ID. So here this where enables us to filter out the specific property we need. Then so update properties, meaning that we want to update this table. Set status, we set the status. So we've accessed that table. We've gone into the status is equal to salt. Then last modified date, we say that it's the current date. We want that actual date, where the property is ID, where the property ID is equal to 7. So thank you. This is the real estate database. We created using SQL. Thank you for listening.